I prefer watches going off than phones.
Well, it rings like my phone.
No matter how many times I say, please turn your phones off. Some people just won't listen. All right. Okay. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos from warm Huntington this evening. It's a beautiful day. The rain has come and gone and shown up in weird times and weird places. And I just know that it has rained because the dogs come in and they have muddy footprints. And so God bless them. God bless them. And Albert, the blind beagle, he's wetter than the rest of them because he's closer to the ground than the rest of them. And so, but it's a beautiful evening here. And regardless of the weather, it is amazing because it's Erev Shabbat. It's right before Shabbat. And we have two strangers. They're not strangers. They're our friends, Sam and James, who are back on Friday nights with us. And they're going to bench licht. And you can find the reading and the bracha, pages 3 and 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahalit ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, let's turn to page 6. Page 6, let's read responsibly near the bottom of the page. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have ears to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
All right, let's continue. Let's welcome Shabbat a little bit further with a song that comes to us from the holy city of Tzfat, the mystical city of Tzfat, which after 1492 wound up with a large contingent of Spanish Jews who were expelled in 1492 and wound up in Tzfat, and they gave us what we call modern Kabbalah. They gave us the modern idea of Jewish mysticism, and they wanted to answer one question and one question only: why did it happen to us? And that was what sparked our modern Kabbalah. And so we have Lecha Dodi, written by Shlomo Levi Alkabetz, one of the great Mekubalim of that period. Top of page 20, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamov zachor b'libo echad, yishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmaho echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, Ki mekor habracha, merosh mikeden nehesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tachila, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela, mikdash melech yimelucha, קומי צאי מתוך אפיך, רב לך שבט בימי הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לפשי בידי תפארתך עמי, על יד בני שי בית הלחמי, קורבה אל נפשי גאלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורן קומי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקומי, מה תשתוכחי מה תהמי, בך יחסו עניי עמי, ונהית לתאיר אותי לה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שוסייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כי המסוס חתן על כלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, את אדוני תריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, אני שמחה ונגילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובשולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Page 20 to page 22. Some verses from Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat, and let's read together in English the outdented paragraph. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzadik katamar yifrach, kermes balmanon yiskeh, shetulim bebeit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Ojenu beseva, V'shenim v'ra'ananim yihiyu lehagi, ki yashar Adonai Suri v'lo avlata bo. Page 24. will welcome the angels who come to spend Shabbat with us. Shalom Aleichem. We greet them. Peace unto you. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Ashari, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have welcomed the Shabbat, and the Shabbos bride is with us. Let's turn now to page 146, and please rise for the Baruch Hu, and that's the beginning of the evening service, Ma'ariv l'Shabbat, evening service for Shabbat. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Borach le'olam va'ed. May be seated, page 147. Let's read together in English. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish. But your sovereignty remains. Adores. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding word. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Agavim. The second blessing before Shema, Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, V'shochteinu u'meinu, Nasiach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'v'mitzvotecha, Le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu, Yorech yameinu, Yorech yameinu, Uvahem neged, Yomam v'layla, Yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavat techal tasir mimenu li'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, Bechol vavcha, uvechol nafshecha, uvechol meotecha, vehayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al bavecha, v'shinantam levanhecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, Uvlektecha b'derech, uveshokbecha, uvkumecha, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 151, let's read responsively in English. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet one is surpassed in perfection, evil abound.
Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and advantage, so we break His power and makes for freedom.
Top of 152. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nohra tehilot, osef malchutecha ra'u manecha, bokeh mifnei Moshe, zeli anu v'yamiru, Adonai Eloh Leolam Vaed, V'nehemar Kifat Adonai et Yaakov, Uga'alo mi'at chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Top of 153 at the top. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. And let's read together in English. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, Atorei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Amot Yisrael, V'al Yerushalayim. Top of 154 verses from the book of Exodus. It's not Shabbat without Vishamru. Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorotam Berit Olam. Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorotam Berit Olam. Beini uvein B'nei Yisrael, Oti Leolam. Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorotam Berit Olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz lishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat lidorotam berit וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נחש, שבת ויהי נחש, שבת ויהי נחש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. Please rise as we turn to page 155 for the beginning of the Amidah. We'll chant 155, 156, and 157 together, and then we'll go silently where you can finish the Amidah in the Hebrew, the English, or offer up your own meditative prayer at that time. Let's begin together on 155. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufiach tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufiach tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor, Anurah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Goel Ipnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Metim Atara L'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechaker Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye Metim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayeh emunato l'sheinei afar michamocha ba'al givurot unidom melach melech v'mi umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah l'chayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim. Let's jump to page 160 and let's read in the middle together in English. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. 163, a little hoda'ah, a little bit of gratitude. Thanksgiving is hoda'ah, but you can't have Thanksgiving without gratitude. Lots to be grateful for this week. Just at the top of the list was the very, very successful Clest Virginia Festival on last Sunday. Over 100 people showed up throughout the day. The weather was perfect, albeit a little hot, but it was great and lots of fun was had. And so that's the top of my list of gratitude and Thanksgiving for this week. Top of page 163, let's read responsively. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve the world, our hearts and hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hopes of tomorrow, all praise is the source of being.
And we'll close out on 164, as always, with a prayer for peace. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael v'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Praise you, Adonai, who blesses your people, Israel, with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevorech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. Page 253, one of the many prayers for healing in our tradition. This one is Misha Berach. And if you have anyone who needs a little extra healing this weekend, keep them in your thoughts and close to your hearts as we prepare for Misha Berach. Middle of page 253. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Pages 258 and 259, prayers for our community. And David Glick, would you read the prayer for our congregation, please?
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, in support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction. May we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding. And may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Mari, the prayer for our country, please.
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit.
Amen. Shalom, shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Hovayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael B'Goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Tzmichat Ulatenu. Hagen Aleha B'Yefrat Chastecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orcha V'Amitcha, V'Rasheha, Sareha V'Yotzeha. B'Takneim Be'etza Tova Milfanecha, V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'Simchat Olam V'Yoshdeha, V'Nomar Amen. Brenda, at the bottom of 259, will you read in English for us the prayer for Israel?
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shielded beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there.
Amen. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shalom.
All right, this week it's Parshat Bahar. Literally, it means on the mountain, and it is the penultimate, right? That's a fancy word. Next to last Parsha in the book of Vayikra. And Vayikra is drawing to a close, and there's not much action. Color me surprised. There's not been much action in the book of Leviticus, but not a lot of action, but there's lots for us to think about. A lot of deep concepts show up in this week's Parsha for our ancestors, but also for us as well. We get the idea of Shemitah. Shemitah means release, and every 6 years, we're allowed to, for 6 years, we're allowed to work the land, but then on the 7th year, we have to give the land a Shabbat, we give it a rest. So for 6 years, we sow and we reap, we prune the vineyards, but in the 7th year, every part of the field has to have a complete rest. Interestingly, though, our ancient ancestors realized that, well, if we don't plant anything and we just have one field and we think, and that's where we get all of our food from, are we going to starve? And the answer is no. Anything during the Shemitah year that grows wild on the field, right? It's nothing that you've planted, it's nothing that you've tended, but say blueberries pop up on your field during the Shemitah year, you're allowed to eat those. But anything that has been consciously planted and consciously maintained is forbidden. Whatever freely grows, though, it's up for you. After the Shemitah year, we get the Yovel. The Yovel is the Jubilee, right? And you could hear Yovel, you could hear how that gets into Jubilee. After 7 series of Shemitah years, right? So after 49 years, you have the Shemitah year every 7th year. 7 times 7 is 49. That 50th year is the Yovel. And the land and the vineyards are again not worked, but there's a nice little twist to this. All Israelite slaves are freed. They are allowed to go. Now, in the biblical times, there were 2 types of slaves. There was the Eved Ivri, there was the Hebrew slave, who was more of an indentured servant, right? Perhaps he had broken your arm and couldn't pay the restitution. We talked about that last week. So he would work for you for however long. But after 50 years, all Israelite slaves were freed on that year. Unfortunately, if you were an Eved Kanaani, if you were a non-Israelite slave, you weren't freed on the Yovel year. The other big thing about the Yovel year is that the properties that were sold during the previous 49 years, they are returned to the families that received them when the land was conquered. So you owned this big property and you subdivided it and you sold it off over the years. At the Yovel year, all that land returned back to you. And it's after 50 years. So there's a couple reasons why we have this. One is that we don't own anything in perpetuity. Right? We don't own anything really. It all belongs to God. The best we are caretakers or renters or squatters, depending on how you think about it. But after 50 years, it comes back. And if you were selling the land up to the 50th year, say it was the 48th year, and then you were getting close to the Yovel and you wanted to sell a piece of land, you had to sell it for less than if you had sold it at the first year of the 50-year cycle, because the person would be able to own it or have it for 49 years, 50 years. So the closer you got to the Yovel, the less money you got for the land, and the farther away from the Yovel, the more money you got. But this is all about ownership, and it's not permanent. The land is not ours. The earth does not belong to us. We might think it does, but it really doesn't. It's God's. God created the world. God allowed the world to be created, however you want to put it. And God says, Ki li haaretz, ki gerim v'toshvim atem imadi. God says, you see, the earth is mine because you are strangers and dwellers on it and with me. All right, so contrary to whatever our lawyer friends tell us, we don't own anything. We are best caretakers. We are tenants, and we are nothing more than immigrants in a land that God had set aside for us. And so it's a little bit of humility, a little bit of a humility check that comes at the end of the book of Vayikra. This week, 24 new mitzvot, 7 positives, 7 do's, and 17 don'ts, for a total of 24. And that's our Torah portion in a nutshell. We're nearing the end of May, and then that means Father's Day is in June, and my dad's birthday is in July. So I've been in my head a lot thinking about my dad. And Pops used to tell all of his students, make sure brain is engaged before mouth is in motion, right? If I had a nickel for every time I heard that line, I would have a lot of nickels. Pops always wanted us to think before we spoke, right? Don't just pop off. Just don't say whatever comes to your mind, because that could get you in a lot of trouble. So make sure the brain is working before your mouth starts moving. And that's tough because when we're in the moment, we want to say something. But in that it pops as pithy teaching, there's a lot of wisdom. Speech is a direct gift to us from God. When God created Adam, when God created the first person, in the second story of creation, God breathed into Adam a living soul, a nefesh chaim. The first century of the current era commentator and translator of the Torah, Onkelos, translated that verse as God breathed into Adam a speaking soul. Human beings, whether it's a speaking soul or a living soul, we are unique in the world because we are the only things that were created with that type of soul. Right? Animals have souls, but God did not breathe the soul into them. God created them ensouled already. Right? But human beings, God had to breathe into us. And that speaking soul that we got is very important. No other creature has a speaking soul. And the reason that's important is because God creates with words. In the first creation story, God says, let there be light, and
There was light.
there was light, right? God spoke and things came into being. We are endowed with the gift of speech. And the Torah, for all of its mitzvot, one of the most common mitzvah, or one of the most prevalent of the mitzvot, are the mitzvot that caution us about our use of language. Don't swear deceitfully. Don't use God's name when you swear. Don't curse God. Don't curse your parents, right? All sorts of things, all ways of engaging in speech. And there are many, many mitzvot, too many to count, about speaking. And then the rabbis pick up on this idea of the importance of speech. How we speak to each other has great impact on the kind of communities that we have. Many, 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 many rabbis have written about this. Rabbi Israel Salant, the Salanter Rav, spent a lot of time in his Musar teachings about how we speak. The Chafetz Chaim is the godfather of how to protect or how to guard your tongue. Right? We talk about Lashon Hara, we call it gossip. Lashon Hara is literally the evil tongue. And it's when we use the truth to hurt someone. Right? Everybody thinks gossip is just, idle talk. Gossip is, Lashon Hara is when you use the truth to hurt somebody. If you know someone has a drug problem and then you start whispering around to cause them great difficulty, or if they're having some sort of problem at home or at work, and you start that whisper campaign. Then there's what the Torah will call rechilut, talebearing, right? And that is using the truth and tarting it up a little bit, putting some lies in there to obviously hurt someone. And then the last piece of the idea of gossip is motzei shem ra, when you just out and out lie about a person. Again, to hurt them. Right? And so this is why I think Pops would say, make sure your brain is engaged before your mouth is in motion, because you want to make sure that you're not hurting people when you talk. For many years, my father would say, when he would go to a dinner or a meeting or something like that, if you don't have anything good to say, come and sit with me. Well, people look at that as an invite. All right, go to Judd's table. But as I learned, as I got to sit at those tables, right, because when I was a little kid, I got shunted off to the kids' tables. But as I got older and was able to sit at that table, what I noticed my father doing wasn't leading a gossip circle. is that he would direct the conversation. So if people came and they started to say, oh, did you hear about so-and-so? My father would gently turn the conversation in another direction. So by the time the dinner ended, everybody who thought that they were going to sit at the table and hear all sorts of juicy gossip so that they could then run and tell those things. I mean, we know these people. They get together for meals and all they can do is talk about other people. God forbid you should talk about them. They will clutch their pearls and, oh my God, the world will end. But they have no problem talking about the rest of us, right? So, but my father wouldn't allow that. He would steer the conversation away from the negative and focus on other things. And it was masterful. Even people who had been sitting at those tables for years always went back thinking, this is the time when Judd is going to let us gossip. And he never let them. He steered it away and kept it positive and light. But as I was thinking about Dad and Pops, what our tradition boils down to is simply the word think. Think before you speak. But think is really an abbreviation or an acronym, right? When before you talk, think. The T, is it true? Is what you're about to say true? Right? And even if it is true, it could still be evil speech. It could still be gossip. Right? So first thing is it true? Or are you just giving a story second, third, fifth hand? The H, helpful. Is it helpful what you want to say, either about someone or about something? Is it helpful? What is the purpose of you sharing it? The I is it inspiring? Is it meant to elevate us or to bring us or other people down? Right? Do we want to inspire or do we want to deflate people? The N is it necessary? Do you really need to say this? Is it something that people already know? Or is it something salacious and you want to get it out there? Is it necessary? Can our lives go on without you telling us this little tidbit? And the last, the K in think is kind. Right? Is it kind? And when I was growing up, Pops used to say to me, well, how do you know your speech is kind? If somebody were to say the same thing about you, how would you feel? If it would upset you, then it's not kind. So put yourself in that place. If somebody or a group of people were saying it about you, how would you feel? So before we speak, we should think. Make sure our brains are engaged before our mouths are in motion. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? I guarantee you that if we would use think before we spoke, because words cannot be taken back. Once they are out there, they are out there. No matter how much you apologize, they are still out there. So if we thought or if we think before we speak, I guarantee you that the world would be a much kinder place as well as much more quiet. And I think that would be a beautiful thing. A little bit of peace and quiet, and that we spoke only after we would think. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. Mari,
Kadoosh.
Kiddush. Speaking of words, it is time for Kiddush. I tell you, when Mari's not here, I almost always forget Kiddush. I almost always forget. Ask everyone, please rise. Vayher vayvoker yom hashishi, vayachulu hashamayim beharetz, bechol tzevam, vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi, melachto asher asa, vayishvot bayom hashvi, mikol melachto asher asa, vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi, vayikadesh oto, Kivo Shabbat, Mikol Melachto, Asher Bara Elohim, לעשות. ספרי.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון, הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית. כי הוא יום תפילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Please remain standing as we turn to page 282 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו משפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה בקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אלוהינו, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת ארון. ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. You may be seated. This week we observed the following yahrzeits: Minnie Friedberg, Goldie Feder's sister; Andrew W. Vanderslack, Alan Siegel's nephew; Rhonda Vanderlask, Andrew's wife; Morris Edelson, Evelyn Weil's father; Leonard E. Hart, Samuel and Eva's son, Ruby's husband, Maury and William's father; Gerald Amberdy, Judy Lundy's brother; Pearl Botnick, Jan Chertow's mother; David Ginsburg, relative of Jonathan Ginsburg; Max Muffson, Murray's father; Charles Poland, Chuck's father; Isidore Cohen, husband of Bessie, father of Nancy and Carolyn, uncle of Billy and David Glick and Barbara Shapiro. Simon Fetter, Goldie's husband, Goldie's husband, Larry, Marjorie, and Carol's father. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us always, and may they all rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yikadal v'yikadash shmei rabah, v'amad divrach yurtei v'amlik malchutei, v'chayecho v'yomecho v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabah v'varach v'olam olamei almayda, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei kudsha brichu, leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, gamiram b'alma v'yivru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. You may be seated. Shabbat shalom, everyone, and good Shabbos. A couple of quick announcements. Services tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., Sunday morning at 9, and then we have our classes Sunday afternoon at 1 and 2. Monday, I believe there is a memorial service at the Arch in Huntington, and it's always a very nice service. Memorial Day, of course, is where we pay honor to those who gave their lives in defending our freedoms. It's different than Veterans Day. Veterans Day is when we celebrate those who served and who do serve, but Memorial Day is somber. I know that is contradictory to how a lot of people feel, that it's the kickoff of the summer, it's a day of barbecues and parties, but it is actually it's a somber day, and we remember the brave men and women who gave their lives in all the wars that our country has been in. The First World War, Second World War, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq and Afghanistan, and even we could go to the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the War of 1812, all of those. We owe our freedoms to those people who gave all to make sure that we remain free. And so hopefully we'll see you there Monday. David, do you know 10 o'clock? 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock Monday, rain or shine, and hopefully it'll be shine. Hopefully it'll be nice. And there's the new memorial that was put up last year for
New wreath.
yeah, but the
Yeah, it's on the other side.
yeah, it's on the other side, but I can't remember his name, and I feel
Danny Ferguson.
no.
Woody Williams.
Woody Williams. There's a memorial and a monument there now, and it's quite nice. It's quite nice. So if you're there for the ceremony, you'll see the wreaths placed, and then you can see the new monument as well. And that's Monday at 11, and then Wednesday is Yiddish choir, and then we'll be back on Friday night. The office is closed on Monday in observance of Memorial Day. So if you're looking for Martha or me Monday, chances are, well, we know we won't find Martha here, but who knows? I might be in the building, but we're just not open for business. But if you do come by, I'll let you in. Right? I don't know if I could help you, but I'll let you in. And that's that. I don't think I've missed anything. David.
Next Friday night will be a special onig for Shirley Cantor Sweet, who was Rena Stern's sister.
Okay.
And she's coming here with quite a large delegation. I think there'll be about 10 of them come to services.
Okay. So next
plenty
week-
of wine out more.
Was that?
They told Maury it has plenty of wine.
We'll just leave bottles out.
Yeah.
Bottles with straws. That's next Friday night, a special onig. All right. I think that's it. So enjoy this long weekend. But come to services tomorrow and Sunday. It's always good to have some prayer to start or to even end your day. All right, let's close out on 321 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nivra V'Acharei Kiklot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Aya V'hu Oveh V'hu Yeh B'tifara V'hu Echad Bin Sheni Lahashelo Lahachbira V'li Reishi V'li Tachli V'lo Aos V'hamisra V'hu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzuchet Li B'yetzara V'hu Nisi Umanos Li Menat kosi biyom ekra, biyado afkid ruchi, biyeti shan biyahira, bim ruchi giriati, Adonai li velo ira. Oh, I forgot two quick things. One, Mazal Tov to Elizabeth and Mike. They have a brand new grandson. Still has that new baby smell and everything. So Mazal Tov to them. I think today is Seth Glazer's birthday. I think he turns 21. So happy birthday to Seth. And finally, the Shavuot companions are in. This comes from Hadar, which is an institute, a non-denominational learning institute for Jews in Manhattan. And you've seen these. We get them for the high holidays. We get them for Passover, Hanukkah, and this is the one for Shavuot. They're in the back of the chapel. Please take one. Always great learning and insight in them. And so let's see who says hello to us via the intertubes today. We have Heather Watts. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Heather. Same to you. Bella Robinson. Shabbat Shalom. Hope everyone. That's Elizabeth yelling. Shabbat Shalom. Hope everyone had a great time at Kless Virginia Musical Fest. We did. Thank you, David and everybody. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos to Rabbi Bob and congregants. B'nai Shalom from David, Laura, and Rafi in Manchester. That's Manchester, England, not Manchester, Pennsylvania. And there, thank you, David. Same to you all. And there's Mom. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbi's mom, Cliff and Nathaniel. From nice and sunny Pennsylvania, glad the Kless Virginia Music Fest was a success. Thank you, Mom and Cliff. Shabbat Shalom to you and Cliff and Nathaniel and everyone. Judy Lundy, may each of us enjoy the fullest this beautiful Shabbat time. Yes, Judy, thank you. Same. Grant David T. Good Shabbos all. Love and shalom from Florida. Stay safe and well. Thank you, Grant David. Look forward to talking to you soon. And he says Shabbat Shalom. Donna Wilson, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Donna. Same to you. Bella, Mazal Tov, Elizabeth, and Mike. Bella, miss you. Okay, there we go. I think we've got them all. So everyone, a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat, a great weekend. Lots happening. Come and spend with us, spend time with us. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, and please be careful out there.
Shabbat Shalom.